My name is Catherine Onofrayton. Today I'll be teaching you about water density. Now, why is water density important? Well, in case you didn't know, that's how water moves throughout the whole ocean. Just one ocean? No. All of the world's oceans are connected, and water moves through all of them, all around the continents. How does that happen? I wonder. Well, let's find out. What kinds of water are in the ocean? Cold and hot? Yeah. So, let's find out which water is denser, cold or hot. What do you guys think? When I stick my toe in a lake, it's really warm. But when I jump in, it's cold. So that means when I stuck my toe in the lake, that was on the top, and it was really hot. When I jumped in to the bottom of the lake, it was really cold. So do you think that warm water is less dense than cold water? Let's find out. I have this cup, and it has a divider in it. I'm going to put cold water right next to hot water. And we'll see what happens. You guys excited? Me too. So, I have some cold water here, and I have some hot water down here. Now, I've dyed the hot water yellow so that we can see it better. Should I dye the cold water? Yeah. What color? Let's dye it blue. Let's make sure that it goes all the way in. Good job. Okay. The hot water is yellow so that we can tell it apart from the blue cold water. Now, what do you guys think will be on top? The yellow hot water or the blue cold water? Let's put them next to each other. So, I put them next to each other, and as you can see, the hot yellow water is on this side, and the blue cold water is on this side. What do you think will happen when I take out the middle? Let's find out. So, I'm going to lift this slowly. You guys see anything happening? I lifted it a little bit. The blue water is sort of coming over to the yellow water side, but it's staying on the bottom. Let's lift this all the way out. Can you guys see that the water is still moving around, but the yellow water is staying on the top, and the blue cold water is staying on the bottom? Can you guys see that? Pretty cool, huh? I think so too. But what other kind of water is in the ocean? It's not just cold and hot. What water is in the ocean? I know, salt water. So, which do you think is more dense? Salt water or fresh water? I wonder how we can find out. Well, I just happen to have another cup just like the one I used before. It also has a divider in it. I've made up some salt water, and I still have some fresh water left over that's yellow. So, let's put them next to each other and see what happens. Salt water, fresh water. Do you guys think the fresh water will be on top or the salt water? I don't know. Let's pull out the middle. Whoa! Looks to me like the water's moving around a lot. But the yellow water is really more on the top. And the clear salt water is on the bottom. That's so cool! The salt water stayed on the bottom and the fresh water stayed on the top. That means that the fresh water is less dense than the salt water, which is more dense. So we have our salt versus fresh and our cold versus hot, which is mixing just a little bit. But you can still sort of see a lighter layer on the top. That's how water density works. Less dense water sits on top of more dense water. I wonder what that means for the ocean. What do you guys think? Where's cold water found in the ocean? By where there's ice, right? Yeah. So by the North Pole and the South Pole, there's cold water. And that water sinks down to the bottom of the ocean. Where's their hot water? Maybe by the equator, where it's nice and sunny and warm. That's where hot water is, and it stays on the top. So as cold water sinks at the North Pole and the South Pole, it moves towards the equator and starts to warm up. And once it's warm enough, it rises. And at the same time, more cold water at the poles is sinking. What else? Well, there's salty water and there's fresh water. Fresh water, where does that come from? Well, ice melting, rivers, all sorts of places. Rain. That fresh water also sits on the top, and the salty water sits on the bottom. So, if you get really cold, fresh water, but really hot, salty water, the hot, salty water will rise to the top of the cold, fresh water. And that will cause water to move all throughout the ocean. And there you have it, water density. Thanks for listening. Bye!